Quality, innovation, respect, and integrity. Take steps to invest in your career. International Management Consultancy is the leading global marketplace for learning and instruction, helping professionals across the industry to develop skills and expertise to get recognition and growth in the corporate world. We are one of the leading training providers and gradually spreading our training facility amongst candidates based at different geographies, such as Canada, United States of America, United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Lebanon, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, India, and many other countries across the globe. IMC is accredited by the highest industry standards. We put in the efforts and we work to prove our commitment to offering our clients only the best and of superior quality. With a uniquely immersive curriculum that combines live instruction from the leading experts, peer-to-peer collaboration, on-demand lessons, unlimited online trainings, and 24/7 learning support. IMC helps over thousands of professionals learn their skills needed to advance their careers and reach their full potential. In line with our commitment to excellence, IMC offers a number of training courses preparing professionals for certifications and exams given by the international associations in areas like management, finance and accounting, human resources, sales and marketing, quality administration, and as well as project management. By fully attending these courses and successfully completing the requirements of the certifying body, participants will receive a special certificate which recognizes their dedication and commitment and in many cases help them earn valuable continuing education credit. IMC Consultants has been working together with their clients from various industries in aligning their people and processes to compete through high speed, excellent quality, and low cost. We strongly believe that the key to our success is our total commitment in delivering value to our clients based on integrity, honesty, and openness. If you are uncertain about which roles or skills are best for you, hurry! Come visit our website or talk to our expert education consultants today. Take a step, invest in your future, empower your knowledge, and be one of our success stories. International Management Consultancy, excellence is what we deliver.
Good evening, Mr. Dabasish. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Jeremy. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Michelle. Good evening, everyone. I think we should start our session now, but I'm just waiting for Ashia. Is she there or she will be joining a bit late?
Hi, Miss Jeremy. Can you please confirm is Miss Asia?
She's
Has already-
she's going to log in. She's on her way home.
Okay, no problem. So we will wait for
Yeah.
her. We will wait for another few minutes for her to join in.
Yeah,
Because
I
there
believe
are-
she's already fixing her computer, sir.
No problem. We can wait for
Yeah.
you. It's not a problem.
Thank you.
No problem. Most welcome. Let us wait till she joins because there are only three people who are there in the session. So it is good that all three are together when we start our session. Okay. So let me wait for another few minutes till Ashia joins. Then I will start. In the meantime, my voice is very clear, right? You can hear me loud and clear and also see my screen properly. Jeremy, Sherihan, all of you can hear me
Yes,
loud
sir.
and clear? Okay? Good.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Because as you know, our session was supposed to be started from 24th, but I got COVID positive actually. So, and this is a
Oh, get well soon, sir. Are you
yeah,
okay
yeah, yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah. I'm very much okay now. Very much okay now. So that
Oh,
is
that's
the
good to
only
hear.
reason. Yeah, yeah. That is the only reason we have to shift it because I had very bad throat infection. I was not able to talk properly also. So now I'm much better. So that's why we shifted the sessions for a week. So that's why I asked you whether my voice is clear with all of you or not. Fine. So let us
Yes,
wait
sir,
for.
it's clear.
Okay, good, good. So let Ashia join and then we will start. And before we start our session, Jeremy, Sherian, everybody, I just wanted to
I love you,
ensure that you
baby.
have your Minitab tool in place, right? Minitab tool is it's in place, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good. Because we will be needing that maybe in another 2 or 3 days time. We will need that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Yes, sir, we have.
Good, good. So we are just waiting for Ashia to join in, then we'll start our Gentlemen, would you mind finding out if Ashia will be joining soon or not? Could you please give her a call and find out, please?
Yes, sir. I'm actually messaging her. I'm
Okay,
trying
please.
to. I will try to call her now.
Okay, okay, please, please, please. Thank you.
Sir, she just answered the call. She said she's fixing her computer now.
Okay,
Yeah, she like can we give her like 3 to 5 minutes before she finish everything?
okay, okay,
She's
okay,
now on. Yeah.
okay, okay. Hi, Ashia. Good evening.
Hi, sir. Good evening. I'm
Good
sorry
evening.
I'm late because
No
just I
problem.
arrived at home.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Thank you.
We all can understand weekdays and setting up the laptop and others for the first day takes a bit of time. No
Thank
issues. So welcome all of you to the first day session of Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt powered by International Management Consultancy. As you all know, that my name is Devashish Mukherjee. I'm from India, and I will be taking you through the entire session of Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Okay. Before we start our session and actually go into the presentation mode, understanding the different aspects of Six Sigma, I will first take you through the table of contents, what exactly we are trying to understand in case of a master black belt. I know for all three of you, the situation is a bit different because all three of you have already attended a black belt session or from IMC, which was fortunately taken by me only. So you already know how our total framework of the training is organized towards Sigma. In whether you do a yellow belt, whether you do a green belt, whether you do a black belt, whether you do a master black belt, the overall concept of Six Sigma does not change. It is something like knowing ISO 9001. I remember there were a couple of questions coming from you people during our black belt session on ISO. That okay, we have ISO in our organization, so we still need to have six. So I answered that time. Similarly, when we have ISO 9001 implementation, there are auditors who does the audit for the ISO 9001. Also, there are lead auditors, right? Like I myself is a lead auditor from ISO 9001 perspective. So the concept of audit, whether you are an auditor or whether you are a lead auditor, remains the same. The only difference comes with the role perspective, the role that they play. Definitely, as a lead auditor, you are supposed to know some more things so that you can guide all the other auditors. Similarly, in case of a Six Sigma hierarchy, the people who does yellow belt and the people who does green belt, the green belt person will be in a position to guide the yellow belt people because obviously a green belt training will be much of a duration compared to yellow belt. So obviously they will be learning some more things which they might not definitely have learned in the yellow belt. Again, in a black belt session, the duration of the black belt batch always will be more than the green belt. Now, it also differs from organization to organization. As I work with several organizations in India as well as globally, there are different duration for different kind of codes. It is not necessary that all the green belt sessions that we do for all the organizations, the duration should always be the same. No, cannot be actually. Some organize it for 20 hours, some for 28 hours, some for 36 hours. Accordingly, we plan our material. Accordingly, we plan our material. Similarly, when from green belt we go to a black belt, as I said, the definitely the duration, the scope of the learning becomes more. That's what, to an extent, whatever you could remember, because many of the things in master black belt we will revise, we will review what we have learned in black belt. Many of the things we will review. So that will be an added advantage for all three of you. So in a black belt session, definitely we learn something more than the green belt. And as I earlier said also, the role plays a very important part. That what is your role as a green belt and what is your role as a black belt? Similarly, when we talk about the role of a master black belt, The role definitely differs. Okay, we will discuss about that. In gradually, we will discuss. So definitely the duration of the master black belt session also will vary. Vary means it will be ideally more than what we have covered in a black belt, because you are going to discuss about many other areas which the master black belt as a person should ideally know, because a master black belt ideally is part of the management of the organization. Ideally, in an organization where there is a Six Sigma initiative, where there is a Six Sigma culture, like the way always used to explain to all of you. I will take that in focus. In my black belt session, I used to always give examples of many organizations whom I have worked with, either as an employee or as a consultant. And I have seen how Six Sigma as a culture helps that organization. So why I am coming out with the role of the master black belt is towards the perspective of the role that they play in an organization where the culture of Six Sigma is very much prominent. The way we learn a yellow belt session, the way we learn a green belt session, and the way we learn a black belt session, the way we will be learning in a master black belt session will be bit different. Because in a yellow belt, of course, you people are not sure whether any of you have gone. In a yellow belt session, generally, in a green belt session, or in a black belt session, we generally follow, other than the conceptual part of Six Sigma, which we are going to again discuss over here, because these are very important things. And at the same time, we followed ideally the DMAC methodology of the Six Sigma methodology. DMAC methodology is given preference. But in a master black belt session, we don't go as per the DMAC methodology process, because that knowledge you are already having with you now. Because whosoever is doing a master black belt, it is expected that at least they have gone through a black belt or at least a green belt. So the DMAC methodology and all these areas, they are quite familiar with to an extent. They might not be remembering many things. That obviously happens, because I see people attending green belt, when they come for black belt, they tell me, sir, certain areas are still not very clear with us. I say, it always happens. It always happens. Just going through a training, completing a training does not make you a master. The mastery comes when you actually work on your role. That way you gain your experience, and that's how you have the mastering of the subject. Okay? So that happens for everywhere. In a master black belt session, as I told you, we will not follow the usual DMAC cycle. The DMAC cycle we will not follow. Rather, we will definitely talk about the DMAC methodology. But these are the 16 main areas that we will be covering in our master black belt session for next 10 days. First, we will try to understand the Six Sigma concept, which are mostly nothing new for all of you, but still we will go through this again. We have to. We will understand the DMAC methodology, of course. We will understand in detail about the tollgate process. You remember tollgate process we discussed to an extent in our black belt session. That will be detailed out in a master black belt session. We will discuss in detail about the DFSS, Design for Six Sigma, which leads to the DMADV methodology. We touched this everything in the black belt, but more detail we will detail it out in the DMADV methodology in the master black belt. Mini-tab usage of statistical analysis, most of this we have already done. At least one each we have done in the black belt, but we will do another round of exercises over here. Then we will go to some advanced set of Sigma tools, some advanced statistical digital tools we will learn. We will do some quick sample project work. We will learn on the forecasting techniques which a master black belt ideally should know, and also the advanced forecasting techniques. We should be understanding what are the challenges that we can face while applying Six Sigma in an organization. What are a master black belt's typical work areas and the roles and responsibilities of a master black belt in any organization? Successfully applying Six Sigma in different sectors, that also we will see. We will also discuss, as because whenever we learn Six Sigma, we side by side also learn about the lean process concept and methodology. And we will also discuss about the visual management thing. These are very important areas for the master black belt to know while they try to implement a culture of Six Sigma in an organization. Also, we will try to understand the integration part between Lean, Six Sigma, ISO, CMMI, and quality management. And finally, with some voice of the customer, we will try to understand Six Sigma projects identification. The way you have to, what should be your approach in identification of Six Sigma projects? Okay, because in a master black belt, I see many people who have completed their green belt, they straightway come for a master black. Okay, nothing wrong in that. Ideally, I personally feel the hierarchy should be like this. You do your yellow belt, then you do your green belt, then you do your black belt, and then you do your master black belt. So what happens otherwise, from green belt to master black belt, for the certification purpose, it is okay. From the knowledge perspective, I think there is a proper hierarchy that you understand if you go through this hierarchy. It is individual choice. In your case, you have already done your black belt, so more or less you are understanding the concept of Six Sigma to a greater extent. We will, certain things you will feel that yes, we are reviewing those again, and many new things, as you can understand from this table of contents, we will be learning afresh so that we can properly function as a master black belt in our organization. The master black belt training is intended for whom? Who are the population for whom the master black belt training is intended for? Actually, people who are involved in operational excellence and they are leaders in the organization. By leaders, I don't necessarily mean the leadership position always. Your role is where you can take some decisions on your own for the organization as part of the management. If you remember, in a black belt session, I told that sometimes the black belts work as a bridge between the management and the Six Sigma methodology. Ideally, it is the role of the master black belt who does it. But in many organizations, master belt does not exist. So does it mean Six Sigma will not be implemented? No, the senior black belts will be doing that. So operational excellence practitioners and leaders, team leaders, program, product, and project managers, whosoever feels that I can go for operation excellence implementation, practice those and lead those initiatives across the organization. Anyone in any industry or any domain who wants to develop new or refine existing problem solving skills. What do I mean by develop new? You remember, we discussed to an extent about the DFSS methodology, which we are going to discuss in detail over here. That is the DMADV methodology, where we design a new process or refine or improve an existing process by applying problem solving skills. This training is also intended for anyone with a focus on career building and improving their visibility within their organization, and anyone who would be intended to take management decisions. This is what I was insisting from the very beginning, quantitatively and qualitatively for and on behalf of the organization. How can you take that decisions if you are not part of the management? Right? Otherwise, you are not authorized to take a decision. By management authority, I don't mean that you should be always at the senior management level. No. Through your expertise, through your knowledge management expertise, through your decision making expertise, the management is also having an confidence in you that these people are in a position to take very good decisions. And those decisions, you can get it validated by your management. Many times we have done it. Many times I remember in my career, I have done it. I take a decision, get it very validated with my management. Boss, I am taking this. You agree with my decision? Sometimes they might differ. Sometimes, most of the time, they say, yes, it's a perfect decision. So you take the decisions on our behalf. That means you are part of the management and you are taking management decisions. What will be our takeaways from the practical training? In addition to teaching the conceptual methodologies of Lean and Six Sigma, that is very, very important. Some of this you might feel, yes, because you have already attended the training from IMC only, right? So you might feel, we have already learned this. Yes, you might have learned this, but there could be newer people who haven't learned. For them, some of the concepts would be coming as very new and interesting. So in addition to teaching the conceptual methodologies of Lean and Six Sigma, this course would also cover skills in leading teams through the process of change. Just learning will not help. You have to practice what you have preached. Practice what you have learned. That comes out through your management capability. It also includes the concepts of brainstorming, innovation, and the application of creating thinking techniques. If you remember, I told you in a Six Sigma initiative, because a master black belt is more of a mind game. That means you have to play with your mind. You have to have a, what I would say, analytical frame of mind. That means whatever you do for your organization, right? Whatever you do for your organization, you have to brainstorm. I think all of you remember what we discussed in the brainstorming thing, right? The brainstorming session, what we do, we storm our brain to come out with ideas. Whenever we come out with ideas, we also have to check, is there any risks involved in this? So the analysis should be always risk-based analysis. Why I'm stressing on these areas? Because this is how you have to take the culture in your organization. Okay, this course would also entail not only statistical tools and techniques, which I always say, but also quality tools and techniques, and also management tools, techniques, and decision-making mechanism. As I always say, Six Sigma is not only statistics. Yes, it definitely includes quite a bit of statistics. Statistics, normal statistical tools and techniques, advanced, some of these advanced tools and techniques we have also learned in our black belt. We will learn those again over here with addition of few. And also quality tools and techniques, and also management tools and techniques. That is very, very important. Because if you don't learn the management tools and techniques properly, How can you employ the management decisions for an organization? Everything cannot be decided. Everything cannot be implemented with only statistical and quality knowledge. You need to have management knowledge. Somebody in some training asked me, the Six Sigma and project management are the same. Six Sigma includes project management. Project management not necessarily include. You can even do project management without Six Sigma. But in a Six Sigma, project management is also necessary. And we will also use Minitab statistical software package, where we will use, as I said, the normal statistical tools and techniques that we have probably learned, most of these in our black belt. And also we will learn some advanced tools or techniques, some of which we have touched base in our black belt, and some others which we will be learning afresh. So these are the basically the takeaways from our training. Let us now understand the concepts of Six Sigma, which are very, very important, because concepts of Six Sigma is the most important thing in learning Six Sigma as an initiative. Okay, whether, and I strongly believe in this. This is based on my 30 plus years of experience, I will say, in this area, that if your conceptions are still not clear, you cannot guide others. If your conceptions are not clear, you cannot guide others. So let us proceed. We have already discussed about this earlier, that any Six Sigma initiative that we start with comes with a customer. So remember, when as a master black belt, you will be guiding black belts, you'll be guiding green belts, not necessarily, never have this impression that as because that person is a black belt, he knows everything. No, nobody knows everything. There is always some scope of knowing something more. Okay, because as I always say, Six Sigma knowledge or quality management knowledge is like an ocean. It's like an ocean. You cannot drink the full water from the ocean. You cannot take away the full water from the ocean. But how many buckets of water, how many tankers of water that is needed for our respective knowledge, whether for green belt, black belt, and master black belt, we gather those amount of water from the ocean and we learn that, so that our knowledge in understanding the ocean becomes more or less complete to that. So as I say, the three very, very important pillars of Six Sigma are: first, understanding who is my customer. Who is my customer? Because if you don't understand customer, you cannot start a Six Sigma initiative. I'm not sure whether I had discussed this with you, because I take so many sessions every day. I don't remember whether I have discussed earlier that in one of the healthcare organizations which I went, I heard that they are trying to do one or two Six Sigma projects. So I just could catch one person who is a green belt person, and I asked him, okay, this is the Six Sigma subject. Okay, who is your customer? He gave me a very funny answer. He said, "Sir, customer, we are yet to finalize, but the Six Sigma project is finalized. That what we are going to do." I said, "Sir, please stop your Six Sigma project. First, finalize your customer. If you don't know who is your customer, you cannot start your Six Sigma project, because your Six Sigma project will be dependent on your customer. Dependent on your customer. A customer is that entity to whom we provide our products and service. As I always say, and you have to understand this way, a Six Sigma initiative starts with a dissatisfaction of the customer and finally ends with the satisfaction of the. That is from dissatisfaction to satisfaction. That is the total journey of Six Sigma that we are going to do. And how to do it, what tools and techniques we will be using, that depends on your situation to situation in your organization and from different project perspective. Everything cannot be same. Ashia can be doing her project in a different way. Jeremy could be doing her project in a different way, and Shayan can be doing his project in a different way. So those are different ways of doing things, because Six Sigma as an initiative is very, very situational. And these are all conceptual things. This cannot be contained in a material. That's why I'm telling you all this. Okay, so that you could at least remember that, okay, what is this poor guy telling us? Customer, you have to identify the entity of the customer first, because from his dissatisfaction, you will eventually decide what project we are going to finally do. So customer can be ideally be external and internal. And remember, I think I discussed this in the Black Pill session also. Some people have an idea. You will come across all these experiences. Some people feel that Six Sigma can be done only with external customers. Absolutely wrong. Because Six Sigma can very well be done with any kind of customer. Any kind of customers means either external customer or internal customer. What is an external customer? External customer are those customers who are external to our organization, or the end customers. Very simple to understand. There could be another customer who are the internal customer, who are our internal business, who are internal to our organization. Your immediate boss could be your internal customer, your senior management, your leadership team, your middle management, your employees in your organization, they all could be your internal customer. So any dissatisfaction coming from any of them could lead to a Six Sigma initiative. We will discuss about this. The next pillar that we are going to understand is quality. Many people define quality in many ways, but a very simple definition of quality is fit to use. Anything or everything that is fit to use by the customer is quality. So that means quality is any criteria within that product or service that meets or exceeds the customer's expectation. That is quality. So quality should be as per the customer. So quality as per customer, you cannot define your own quality. Ashia cannot define my product is of tremendous good quality. Forget about the customer, whether they accept it or not. No, you cannot say that. You have to go as per your quality, as per customer. When customers say your product or service is of high quality, then only you can ideally claim. Look, these are the mindset change that you have to bring in for Six Sigma in your organization. Why I am telling you this? Because I'm not just giving you a training. I'm trying to prepare you as a mentor as well. That is what you have to be when you become a master black belt. This is how you have to train people, because it's a mindset change, cultural change that you have to bring in your organization. And another is the defect as per customer. If we can identify customer properly, quality as per customer properly, defects will automatically come out. If the customer says, I want all my products to be delivered with 98% quality, that means what? 2% defect they can still allow, 2% defect they can still allow, or in vice versa way, 2% defect if we can allow, that means he wants 98% quality, is the same. So ideally, we have to first consider what is the customer, who is my customer, identify the customer properly, quality as per customer, and defect as per customer. We have understood what is quality. What is quality? Quality, many people can talk about quality in very many different ways. Some simple definitions: conformance to specifications. Specifications by whom? Specifications by the customer. And meeting or exceeding expectations of the customer and giving every customer complete satisfaction. Didn't I say that? A Six Sigma initiative starts with a customer dissatisfaction and finishes off with a complete customer satisfaction. If the customer is still not satisfied, your Six Sigma project is not successful. There are some formal degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfills the requirements of the customer. And what is requirement? The need or the expectation that is stated, generally implied, or obligatory. Here lies the catch. If some of the expectations are well stated, it is very clear. I tell you, but sometimes something are implied, which we miss out. So as a master black belt, you have to understand, is there any implied expectations over here which we are missing? That you have to make it clear from the customer. Or any obligatory things. Obligatory, maybe some government advisories, some government restrictions, or some restrictions, especially the customer, that you have to understand. So this, you have to get it clarified from the customer very clearly. But how? In a Six Sigma thing, another thing which is very, very important, which, and look, what I am telling you now, that is exclusively as a master black belt, you have to understand, you have to remember. Even if a green belt or black belt does not remember that, I'm okay with that. But as a master black belt, you should not remember. You should always remember. Number one, all the expectations of the customer, whether it is stated, if certain things are implied, which you verify and confirm, and you should have that properly evidenced. Evidenced, what do I mean by evidence? Either there should be proper email from the customer, or you can have a meeting with the customer where the minutes of the meeting should be properly drafted and shared with the customer with a confirmation that yes, this is what we discussed, so that any case we should not come back, the customer cannot come back that Sherihan, I didn't say that. But no, sir, your minutes of the meeting is saying this, and this is what you have confirmed. So there are no expectation mismatch. There are no expectation mismatch. So these are how we have to do our work towards identifying quality. Forget about the word software. Any quality, different customers have different quality perspective and expectations. Some concentrate on zero defect. Some concentrate, some defect is okay, but I want all my items within budget, to be prepared within budget. This is an internal customer expectation. All the schedule, even if there are 1 or 2% defects, I'm okay, but everything should be delivered on schedule and conformance to the specifications. 1 or 2 days schedule variations is okay, but whatever I have specified, it should be conformance to that. So you understand, every customer have a different expectation. Accordingly, I always say that each Six Sigma project is distinct on its own. You cannot match it. That's why I always say Six Sigma initiatives are very situational initiative, based on situation of an organization, based on your customer, based on which you are doing a Six Sigma project will differ in most cases. Accordingly, you have to understand that every customer has their own definition of quality, have their own definition of quality. Accordingly, you have to frame your Six Sigma methodology. Product and process quality. What is product quality? Product quality is for the end product, which we have to improve. How it is important in a Six Sigma initiative? Because Six Sigma initiative is finally to improve the product or the service which finally goes to the customer. So that is the final product. In one way, a software service can be also identified as a product in that way, as a product. So any product or service that goes, that is the final thing which goes to the customer, and how it has to be improved. It has to be improved by improving the process that is creating the product and service. Because if you send me some products which are faulty, I tell you I cannot accept these products because these are faulty products. You have to send me defect-free product. How can you do that? You have to improve your process so that the defects are not there anymore, so that I get all the products 100% quality, zero defects. So that means your focus is on the quality of the process. Quality of the process, which eventually make your product quality good. We have already discussed this. I don't want to repeat it further. Every customer, whether it is internal and external, have different perspective, different expectations. External customer has a different perspective, different understanding. Organization, that is internal customers, they have their own priorities. And employees, they are also our internal customers. They also have their own quality of a different quality perspective. When we talk about that Six Sigma, as I always say, that Six Sigma is a well-planned, well-documented, systematic, and structured way of doing a process improvement. Our concentration is always on the process part, because process is something that we are going to improve, which eventually will improve our products and services. So we will try to understand what is a process. A process is nothing but a sequence of various steps performed one after the other to achieve something. And that process ideally includes in any organization a defined procedure which we have to follow, some tools and equipments and techniques in order to have the process functioning properly. And who does it? The people in an organization done it, right? Whatever way we might have automated, whatever automation we might have done, still we need people, right? Some organizations might need 1,000, some might need 500, some might need 100. We need people. So these are the three components which runs a total process in any organization. So process is a set of activities, methods, and practices, that transformations that people use or organization use to develop and maintain any products or any services. When we talk about Six Sigma as an initiative and we concentrate on our process, we also talk about Sir Edward Deming, one of our quality gurus, the PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act. As I tell you, this is one of the most important management review process, management capability that every organization managers should have. So you can understand, Six Sigma also includes PDCA. When I say Six Sigma is a well-planned activity, I told you that. Right? And I always repeat that. And I strongly believe in this. And whatever I say repeatedly, remember, as a practitioner, whatever small knowledge I have, I fully believe in this. That's why I could preach. That's why I could preach, because I believe in this. So first, you plan something, then you do the work. Then you check whatever you planned and whatever you have done. Are these same? Is there any discrepancy? Is there any problem? We act on revival of those process and then plan and check again. That means this is a vicious cycle that goes on continuously in any organization. Even if you go to some organization, because that experience I have, where I've been to several times of organization. When I say how you apply PDCA, some people say PDCA, what is that? Some people don't know. It's fine. Not knowing something is not a crime. They say PDCA, what is that? We haven't heard of it. Very fine. So how you do your daily work? When I ask them, they exactly explain what they exactly means in a PDCA cycle. So that's when they explain me, I tell them, this is what you are already doing, PDCA. Maybe unknowingly you are doing it. When you do any work, don't you plan first? Don't you plan first? Yes, sir, we do a plan, and that is planning. Then you execute. After execution, you check, you review. Review. How can an organization exist without reviews and quality control, quality check? It is nothing but act. Then we do some work after the checking. If something is not done the way it should have been, then we go for planning again, and that PDCA cycle continues. So every organization does it to whatever extent it is applicable. Quality assurance. Quality assurance is an emphasis on all activities and all the people involved in producing the product and the services. Some quick definition from ISO. It is that part of total quality management focused on proving confidence that quality requirements will be fulfilled. We will learn about many of these things gradually. But one thing is for sure, you can understand that quality assurance is some activities that we try to do to assure that our product and services that are coming out finally are of good quality. That means we are trying to assure our quality. Simple as that. Always in a Six Sigma methodology, try to understand everything in a very simple way. Don't complicate that. There could be some complicated task that we will be learning, but try to learn this, try to understand this. I will try to explain always, and that's what I always do. I try to always explain Six Sigma, total quality management, ISO, CMMI, whatever I handle, risk management, in a very logical and simple way, so that the acceptability of the people who takes the training becomes easier. They feel that yes, this is what we do. So it is acceptability becomes good. Concept of full quality. Some concentrate on product quality, some on process quality, some on service quality, some on value addition. Value addition we will discuss afterwards. Customized quality. There are some customized quality. Your product quality could be customized. Your process quality could be customized. Your service quality, your personal interaction, your value addition, everything can be customized for an organization as the case may be. There are 8 quality management principles. As I always say, it should be customer focused. Why we are talking so much about quality? Because eventually, Six Sigma as an initiative is for process quality improvement. Process quality improvement. So our emphasis is always on quality. So it is always customer focused. We discussed about this. Involvement of people to make that happen. Win-win relations with suppliers, which is also one entity, of course, which is not in our scope, but they are very important entity that we have. Systematic approach to management, process approach, proper leadership of what we do, continual improvement, very, very important towards understanding Six Sigma knowledge. It's a continual improvement. Just yesterday, I was taking a black belt session for some other organization. One person asked me a very funny question. I will say it's a very funny question, at least from a black belt person. He said, "Sir, sustenance of improvement and continual improvement, what is the difference between the two?" I said, "There is no difference, sir. Continual improvement means an improvement that has been done and that improvement is sustained. That is continual improvement. So basically, both are same. You can achieve continual improvement only when you have an improvement achieved and you sustain that improvement. That means that improvement is made permanent. That is called continual improvement. Simple example. I think all of you are parents. I am guessing all of you are parents. So you have your children. Suppose one of our children in exam currently getting around 50% marks. That is not enough. We have to improve his process of developing himself or herself. So we put him or her under good tuition. As I always say, for Six Sigma and quality management and others, I always try to give examples from our day-to-day life. It makes our understanding very clear. So we give him best tuitions, your virtual tuitions nowadays, home tuitions also we put him or her. We also take some extra time for guiding them properly. So we are taking all the improvements, measures, so that his or her result improves. Then in the next result, we see that compared to the 50% earlier, he now gets 80% result. Wonderful. Wonderful. The process has improved, right? From 50, it went to 80. But do we just give the slackness immediately? Okay, that 80% is achieved. Okay, no further improvement. That process, home tuition, that special tuition, etc., are not required. Do we do that? No. We keep on that momentum so that that 80% becomes a continuous process for him. That's what we exactly do in a Six Sigma initiative. And it's a factual approach to decision making. If I come to your organization and I ask Jeremy, how you are doing in your professional exam, or how your organization is doing for the last 1 year, she says, "Sir, my organization profits are not good. We are not going through good profits." How can she say that? She has to show that the proper data, right? Otherwise, it becomes very subjective. She is expecting something the organization didn't perform that extent. That is very subjective thing. So she has to give with a proper target. Look, this was our revenue target, and the company has achieved this much. That's why we say, due to whatever reasons that we have to find out, the company has not gone through proper revenue condition. So we are proving that with a proper factual approach to decision making, because in a Six Sigma thing, everything has to be very much specific. It should not be subjective. If it is subjective, you cannot really go for improvement. It should be very, very specific. You have to be very specific and with factual approach. I had this slide in our black belt also because I strongly believe in this. Process and quality are part of everyday life. You see, till now, I am giving my examples from my day-to-day life also, right? Even you people face that in your day-to-day life, but we never think that way. You never think that way. So going forward, start thinking that way. The way I am telling you, it will bring you enough benefit when you try to implement Six Sigma in your organization. Process and quality are part of everyday life. And I strongly believe in this. It is nothing but common sense. But again, I repeated this in black belts also. Common sense is becoming very uncommon nowadays. People don't think in the normal way, always think in a very complicated way. I have seen several examples. People, when the customer is sharing their experiences, they tell me, sir, the customer says this is the problem, we have to do this. But I think, sir, customer is also not happy with that. I simply tell them, why you are making your life so complicated? When somebody tells you, I like you, you immediately think, okay, he or she told me that he or she likes me, but he might be disliking me as well. Why you are thinking that way? Think in a very positive way. So when the customer is telling you, I am concerned about your poor quality of deliverables, he didn't mention anything. If you still feel that I think he is also not very happy with the customer service response time, get it clarified from him. Don't think for the customer. Get it clarified from the customer and document it. So evidence is very, very important when you go for a Six Sigma project, because why I'm telling you now all these things, which necessarily these things are never discussed during a black belt, because always a master black belt in an organization where Six Sigma initiative is very strong, you have to go taking some decisions accordingly. Why do projects fail? Projects fail due to many, many things. Your estimation is bad, especially in IT organizations. I have seen estimation is a pathetic area why projects fail. Requirement management, understanding the expectation of the customer was not good. You didn't understand what the customer is asking for. So you understand how much time you need to really spend towards understanding the customer's expectation. Project planning and monitoring is poor project planning and monitoring. That includes your Six Sigma projects also. Resources, availability and their skills, their utilizations. Managing client expectations, customers' expectations. I said that earlier also. Lack of process and standards, obvious. When you are doing a Six Sigma project, obviously there is either a lack of process or inefficient process. So what we have to improve? Forget about configuration management, which we will discuss at the end. Okay? Reviews and testing. Very less reviews and testing we have. Not appropriate reviews and testing. We will discuss about this in our cost of quality sector. And staff attrition. Staff attrition is a very common term used in many, many organizations. What exactly is the Six Sigma? What we have learned till now. It's a customer focused attitude. It's a customer focused attitude, and it's a customer focused. You don't have to read each and everything. All decisions are data driven, not on gut feel. Your gut feel does not make absolute sense in a Six Sigma initiative. I felt that the customer is not happy with that also. Your gut feel could be extremely wrong. It will lead your Six Sigma project in a wrong direction. And method to achieve defect level of 3.4 million per opportunity. That means this we have discussed, this we have learned how to improve the sigma level or the sigma score or the Z score in a Six Sigma initiative by improving the process performance and methods to achieve breakthrough improvement in the process. Breakthrough improvement means bigger improvement, sufficient improvements. If Ashia tomorrow tells me, sir, I already have a problem in my process and I also know the solution, how it is to be solved, I will simply tell her, just do it then. Why you want to do a Six Sigma project? Ideally, a Six Sigma green belt project ideally takes 2 to 4 months to complete. Ideally, black belt project takes ideally 4 to 6 months to complete, and a green belt project takes 2 to 4 months to complete. Why you want to, when you already know the solution, probably you can just solve it maybe in 3 to 4 hours or 5 hours or 5 days. Why you need to do a Six Sigma project? Does not make sense. You can even use the initiative like Kaizen, which are also continual improvement or continuous improvement, but a quick improvement, quick improvement. And a set of tools, a philosophy which mandates operational excellence. Why? When the process is improved, it ideally leads to your total operation in an excellent condition. That talks about operational excellence. And Six Sigma talks about a set of tools that include statistical tools and techniques, quality tools and techniques, and also management tools and techniques to reduce variation in process and your operations, day-to-day operations. Variations, we will again discuss when we are further down the line. And it's a discipline to meet customers' expectations every time, and at times, if possible, try to exceed that. The key goals of Six Sigma, in order to implement a culture of a Six Sigma, because as a master black belt, you are ideally not doing a Six Sigma project. You are not ideally doing a Six Sigma project, but you should know how a Six Sigma project is getting done, because you have to do the hand holding and the observation in doing a Six Sigma green belt or a black belt project. You have to hand hold, train them up, educate them to do a project properly. So understanding the mindset of Six Sigma is very, very important, other than understanding the concepts and philosophy of Six Sigma. Understand the concepts and the methodologies of the different areas of the Six Sigma as a concept, how to handle a Six Sigma project. You should know that. You are not actually doing a Six Sigma project yourself, but as and when required, that hand holding should come. So in order to do a hand holding for a project, you should know that first how to do it, right? Sustain that improvement for times to come. That is what we talk about, a continual improvement and savings to the organization. As I always say, when you do a Six Sigma initiative for an organization, you ideally pass on two benefits to your organization. I have to understand this very clearly. Because yesterday only, when I was telling you I was doing this black belt session, I was not expecting this question coming from a black belt person, but okay, sometimes people ask questions that, sir, how we pass on two savings to the organization. I said, sir, there are two kinds of benefits we pass on to the organization. First of all, by improving the process, we are improving the process for our organization, right? So improving the process of our organization, what we do, we, by improving the process of our organization, what we do, we pass on to the organization eventually an improved process after we complete our Six Sigma project. We pass on an improved process to the company, the organization gets benefited by getting an improved process, and at the same time, they get some financial savings by doing an organization Six Sigma project. How? If when you have sufficient amount of defects, which is leading to rework for your organization, rework, rectification, does your customer pay you for this? Customer does not pay you for rework, rectification, damage control, all these activities. You are paying from your own pocket. So those are additional costs to you. So whenever you improve your process and your defects have now, say, just as an example, have come down to zero. You have improved to such a good extent that your defects are not there any longer. So when your defects are zero, that means what? You don't have any rework efforts. You don't have any damage control efforts. You don't have any correction efforts. So you are saving that amount of money by creating the product and the services which are having zero defects. This is an indirect savings that you pass on to your organization. So organization always gets a twofold benefits from a Six Sigma organization. Six Sigma benefits. We have already discussed all of these things. Just concentrate on the last thing. I have discussed this again and again. Six Sigma as an initiative, Six Sigma as a project involves doing a project. Immediate solution to the problem is not known. If you tell me, I already have a problem and I know how to do it, how? Why you need to do a Six Sigma project? It's overkill. Remember, as a master black belt, you should always remember this. Six Sigma is nothing but a quality initiative. It is related to quality. Whether you do an ISO implementation, whether you do a total quality management implementation, whether you do a risk management implementation, whether you do a CMMI implementation, whether you do a Six Sigma implementation, anything in any organization, don't do just for the sake of doing. People will not take it, accept it well. There will be resistance in the organization, and you won't believe I have faced this. Resistance, I don't mean revolt, I don't mean that, but there are people who don't like it. What this poor guy is telling. So don't do for the sake of doing. So I changed. I saw in one organization where it was tried to be done that way. Quality was pushed on people, and I changed that culture. We will discuss about that also today. Change that culture. That don't push, don't dictate quality on others. Try to convince quality. Try to convince people how quality, if you adapt to quality, how it can help your life in the organization. So that you have to have that acceptance coming from the organization. Then only your Six Sigma initiative should be successful. So you understand, over here, I am not actually teaching you till now anything about Six Sigma projects, but the way you should handle the initiative, that is more important from the perspective of a Six Sigma, because these are the behavioral thing. The behavioral thing that you have to accept and implement when we do a detailed training. In course of the trainings, we have discussed earlier also, but I just want to touch base, not in detail, I want to discuss. In many organizations, as I say, Six Sigma as a training are varied in nature. Duration of the training, the contents of the training, the details of the training that you do for every organization are different. More or less, I will say 80% of the things are common. 80% of the things are common. Some organization can delete or add certain things. Some organization might delete some other thing and add some other thing. Some changes this way or the other will be done. Also, the durations are different. As I told you, I even work with an organization. For a black belt, we have 6 full days of training. 6 full days of training. That is 6 into 8, 48 hours, including breaks and all, 48. And for our IMC, we did that for around 30 hours, right? 25 to 30 hours we did. So these are some changes. Even I do black belt for 20 hours also. That does not mean those trainings are bad. Those are also internationally certified certification they get. But maybe some tools and applications, practice will be less in that way. Or some tools and techniques which we feel are not that important, we might omit that. So this sort of changes are always there. So first, in a training perspective, we start off with a awareness training, which ideally I would like to call it either a white belt or a yellow belt. Of course, I don't believe in that white belt too much, to be very honest with you. I can still go vouch for a yellow belt training. So people go for the awareness training, which is the yellow belt training, where people get aware of the Six Sigma terms and concepts. Nothing else. They know how to use, what to use, and when to use. That's it. They know what is this terminology called. What are those terminologies? In a detailed green belt training, I will say that is the first step in learning Six Sigma in a detailed way, where we learn about statistical tools and techniques. First, we learn about the concept of Six Sigma more or less in detail. We learn about statistical tools and techniques. We learn about quality tools and techniques, and we also learn about some management tools and techniques also. In a detailed black belt session, what we do, of course, as I said, the duration will be more than a green belt. From a yellow belt, the green belt duration will be more. From the green belt, the black belt duration will be more. Because obviously, we'll be learning some more things. Otherwise, what is the necessity of having a black belt, right? The duration is more. When the duration is more, obviously, we'll be learning some more things. And as I always say, check these particular areas. In a black belt session, we don't only prepare you, that is, at least my efforts are always like that. I don't like to prepare a black belt person in that way that he learns some additional things only to execute a project. But I also try to prepare him to an extent as an executioner, not only executioner, but also as a mentor. Also, as a mentor, I try to build that person. So, in a black belt training, people will definitely learn some more things compared to what they learn in green belt, some advanced, to an extent, some advanced tools and techniques, and accordingly, they take it forward with that. What we learn ideally in a black belt training, hierarchy wise, that is the highest level we should say in a Six Sigma initiative. Evidences using project management tools and techniques. I told you repeatedly, see, the first thing coming is application of the management tools and techniques. That is more important because as a master black belt, you are supposed to take decisions. Just knowing statistics, otherwise, we don't need master black belts. We can simply hire statisticians. They will work as the best person. It's not that easy. You should be a good manager also. So your project management tools also will help. Just having a statistical knowledge will not help. But definitely, how to use different statistical tests, how to use different statistical analysis and apply them towards your management decision making, those are also very, very important. Evidence of understanding the lean principles, because I personally feel in any organization, if you try to have a robust Six Sigma initiative culture, try to have lean culture along with that, it works havoc for the process improvement for any initiative. Mentoring of other black belts, green belts, and yellow belts, I told you, not necessarily yellow belts, I will say, but more so black belts and green belts. Generally, for the yellow belts, mentoring them, black belts and green belts are enough. Handling attribute responses, optimization, optimization of processes, optimization of resources, as the case may be, advanced statistical tools and techniques, and how to act as a bridge. I told you this, how to act as a bridge between the management of the organization in taking decisions for or on the behalf of the management, and also for on behalf of the Six Sigma methodology. So you are acting as a bridge between the two. This role is very, very important because as a master black belt, you will always act as a bridge, having good amount of project management tools and techniques knowledge, project management knowledge, statistical knowledge, and also quality knowledge. So these three, or rather these four, are the prime quality characteristics that one should have in a master black belt training that we should have. We have learned till now the details. We have learned till now the details. Actually, I'm having a infection now. Uh, as we know that as a master black belt, as I have told you, that decision from the management perspective is very, very important, that you should play a role as a management cadre person in the organization, and based on your management capability, your statistical capability, your quality management capability, you have to understand, implement, and help the organization in implementing and continually continue with the Six Sigma methodology and culture in that organization. What we will do by my watch, it is 2028, 8:28 by my watch. It is almost 8:30. Okay, let's have a 15 minutes break now. 15 minutes break from now. We will come back exactly at 8:45. So you can manage your time against 8:45. Let us come back. Let me also have some rest for my throat. 45, and then we will continue with the rest of our session. Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome back after the break. All of you are back. Ashia, Jeremy, Shirihan, all of you are back. You can
Yes, sir.
just put a
I'm
okay.
here.
Okay, good, good. You can just put a thumbs up or just raise your hand. That's it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So let us continue with our rest of the part of our discussion that we have. In another 1 hour 15 minutes time, we will take another break because that will be more or less our dinner time in India. So I'm not sure whether your dinner time will be a bit after that, 1.5 hours after that, or what. So we can also manage that way, okay? Because in a 4 hour session, generally we have to take two breaks. But in the meantime, because it's a long session, 2 hour session, and whenever I take 4 to 5 hour session, sometimes the participants ask me, "Sir, can we take a break of 5 minutes or 10 minutes just to refresh ourselves?" And I said, "Fine." So if something like this happens and you also want to take a break in between, please let me know. We will take some short breaks in between. Okay. Otherwise, now it is 8:45 by my watch. We will take a break exactly around 10 o'clock. Okay. So that is the plan. Before I start, before I start with gradually going into the master black belt areas, any doubts or questions from anyone on whatever we have discussed till now? Wonderful. So I don't think there will be much is, questions or this thing from your side. Still, it is my duty to ask you. So let us now start understanding the purpose of the master black belt training. What is the reason? There are ideally three purposes, I will say. What are the two purpose and some potential benefits of the training? Number one, the first purpose of the black belt training, master black belt training, is ideally to focus on developing leadership skills, which I'm stressing from the very beginning, that to create leaders and their skills of having leadership way of thinking, strategic thinking. That is, you define your strategy in the organization. Conflict management, avoid conflict management, principles of business excellence, change management, which we will learn, dealing with resistance, how to deal with resistance. Didn't I tell you that when you apply Six Sigma or any other quality initiative in an organization, if you just want to whip around, there will be resistance. How to reduce that? I told you this. Establishing the framework for improvement and innovation, because Six Sigma as an initiative is an innovative initiative. It keeps on innovating itself, generating business value of organization excellence. Because we are trying to improve the process of an organization, which to an extent helps towards taking the initiative to an excellent position towards organizational processes and usage of statistical approaches, advanced statistical approaches, not only advanced, normal statistical approach, plus few advanced as required, such as non-parametric analysis. You remember in the black belt section, if at all you remember, even if you don't remember, not a problem. We will discuss those again over here. Non-parametric things which are not normal in nature, we have understood, we had learned something towards the hypothesis testing. We will relearn those things. We will relearn about quality function deployment, DMAC methodologies, PMAD-V designed for Six Sigma, DFSS methodology in details, which necessarily we don't do that much in a black belt session, and theory of constraints and some different ways of taking management decisions. The next purpose, that is the first purpose of doing our Six Sigma. So you have to develop your mindset this way that, okay, after I become a master black belt, These are the basic expectations from me that I have to do for my organization. Ideally. Now, how much you can do, what exactly you can do, that you have to define based on your organization. Okay, because each organization has a different way of working. You cannot just go to your organization, say, from tomorrow I am one of the leaders. They will not take you there. Who the hell are you to say that you are a leader? So your way of working, a leader is not made. A leader is built. A leader is built. That is, a leader comes gradually. You can be a manager at the first instance. Leadership, you have to bring in the quality. The next purpose of the master black belt training is focusing on debating practical aspects of statistical tools usage. That is, which tool to use when. If you remember, we had an initial discussion in the black belt session that when you work with statistics, identification of the data is very, very important from the standpoint of statistics. That is, whether my data is a continuous data, whether my data is a discrete data, if discrete, whether it is a binary data, and whether it is a count data. Identification of those, and I feel, I see, I experience many black belt people who are still confused with the type of data. They give some different perspective of how they treat their data. So that we have to be very clear. More sessions are held on innovation and creativity tools such as design thinking, six thinking hats, scamper techniques, trees, that is the innovation methods, and more. So these are all management kinds of techniques. So you see, in addition to the quality and statistical tools and techniques, we are stressing more on the management tools and techniques, concepts of process automation and data visualization. I remember Jeremy had a discussion with me in our black belt session towards data visualization, visual management. We will discuss that in detail over here. Are discussed, and the practical applications of these concepts to various business scenarios across multiple sectors are explained. Because in an organization, there are different areas or different sectors. So the same perspective that you will be learning as a Six Sigma will not be applicable exactly in the same way in all sectors. So what to apply, where to apply, why to apply, and when to apply, and how to apply. That's what we have to understand in case of a master black belt, so that we can strategize the things properly. That is more important. What are the purposes of master black belt training? The potential benefits of the training. We are learning the purpose of the master black belt training, what you are going to achieve by doing a master black belt training. It opens door for the participants for getting adapted to the senior management role in organizational excellence. I told you this. Gain leadership capabilities to drive organizational transformation. So more stress is given on the management skills and techniques. Be the change management leader and implement strategies for creating a culture of excellence. You might ask me, how is change management coming into this? I will discuss. Please have some patience. I will discuss about the change management, how it is related to Six Sigma as an initiative, and how you can play a very important role over here. Be enabled to recognize opportunities for implementing digitization, automation, and robotics application for improved organizational excellence and performance. Develop the ability to establish clear linkage between Lean Six Sigma outcomes and strategic objectives of the organization. Understand the key strategies that will enable an organization to emerge as a leader. So you understand, if the strategization is done effectively, The implementation followed effectively. The organization excellence will be measured and maintained, and that organization could emerge as a leader. Any organization does not become a world leader only for its employees. It becomes a world leader because of a world-class process. That is the operational excellence. And that is what you have to ensure. Develop the ability to create a comprehensive and structured infrastructure for managing improvement, innovation, and transformation. I'm reading out few things because we have to go as per this. Competency development on career enhancement in the domain of business excellence, that is your individual expertise, your individual career progression. Coach teams, important. Coach teams on project management, intergroup coordination, as well as manage critical outcome driven milestones. You understand, Master Black Belt or Six Sigma area is a quality management initiative. And this is based on my personal experience as a quality manager. Sometimes or many times, we have to train up even the project managers so that they can manage their work properly. To give you a very small example in this regard, is the risk management thing. Risk management thing is not a quality management activity. I remember when I used to go for audits, people used to say, when I used to stress on the need for a risk management, people used to say, yes, boss, that is your area, so you know better. I said, no, sir, these are not my areas. These are your areas. As because you are not doing it properly, I am teaching you how to do it properly. Risk management is not a quality management area, it's a project management area. So all this, whether you call it a project management, whether you call it a management area, innovation and strategization, is it a quality management area? No, it's a management area. So as a quality manager, you have to also take part in that and strategize things. Act as a bridge between your management team and Six Sigma improvement management team. These I have talked about several times, right? This is very, very important. See the earlier one, I missed it out. Be the subject matter authority, Spock, in planning and executing strategic initiatives on business excellence. You won't believe, in my last organization, as a master black belt, when I was the global head of process and quality, corporate global head of process and quality in my organization. My last organization was a French multinational, and most of the time I was being posted in Paris, Mozon, a place called Beozon. So over there, my management used to look after me as the strategic person who will take all the decisions on strategic initiatives for the organization. It's a huge responsibility, but it does not mean that tomorrow you become a master black belt certified. From the very next day, you have to start doing this. No, you have to gain that experience. It takes time. I was given this role. I took up this role as a strategic initiator, maybe after 25 to 30 years of my experience. So it takes time. But you cannot say, okay, let 30 years pass by that time I will gain that experience. You have to start now. Na? You have to start. If you don't start now, you cannot develop yourself. To say, okay, I will not do anything now, I will wait for 30 years. Nothing will happen. You have to start from now on. Look, why I'm telling you people all this all sounds like, as many people tell me, sir, whenever you train, we see that you don't necessarily concentrate only on the material. I said, yes, because in a Six Sigma initiative, mostly I handle black belt and master black belt. Very rarely I handle green belts. So what happens? I try to act as a mentor to these people also, so that they can at least remember 50 to 60% of what they are learning from me and apply them. Because if you can remember 60%, you will be able to apply 40%. So initially, when you apply 40% of your knowledge towards strategic operational excellence, that is doing a very good for your organization. Later, you will realize, oh, I missed out this thing. 40% becomes 50%. Later, again, 50% becomes 60%. This way, things keep on improving. How? Through your experience in doing. So don't remember that the first initiative that you will do as a master black belt will be 100% successful. No, it might not be. Most of the time, it should not be actually. It will not be. Not should not be, will not be. But don't lose heart. That is how everybody learns. Even I have learned that way. I make some mistakes, perhaps, or maybe some of the decisions didn't go that well. This is how I learn. Oh, this is the mistake that I have done earlier. I will not repeat that mistake. So you have to learn from your learnings. Six Sigma, I say, we don't learn necessarily from mistakes. We learn from learnings. The learnings that I had earlier, from that learning, I relearn something and apply that. Six Sigma evolution, I don't want to spend much time on that. It started with Toshiba as an organization. Sorry, Toyota production system in Japan. In US, it gained momentum mainly from Motorola and GE as organizations. Identification of root causes, if certain slides are not very important because we have already covered this in our black belt, but there are sometimes people who don't attend the black belt, straight away from green belt, they come over here. For those, these slides are also important. So accordingly, I manage it, So identification of root causes, Y is equal to F into X. This looks very simple, but this is very, very important. Somebody asked me, when I told them Y is the output, F is the process or function, and X is the input or inputs. So that means our output is dependent on inputs on the process. That is how outputs are created. And our focus in a Six Sigma initiative is always on the F or the process. In one of my sessions, black belt session, one person asked me, sir, if our focus is on the F, why Y comes first? That's a very good question. Y comes first because ultimately we are delivering the Y only to the customer. We don't deliver process, we deliver the product or the service. That is the output. So the stress is on the output. The highlight is on the improved output, but the focus and the stress is on the process or the function. So why in different phases of the Six Sigma methodology, we call it by different names. We call it by different names. In the define and measure phase, we talk about Y as the output. In analyze phase, as I told you in a master black belt session, we will not go phase wise. Our training will not be organized phase wise. We will do it in a different way because phase wise things that you are already aware of now. So we will not waste our time going into this. We will touch base on those, but we will skip those and go into other details more. So define and measure phase, Y is the output. In analyze phase, Y is the effect. And in an improve phase, Y is the response or the symptom. X, on the other hand, in the define and measure phase, X are the inputs. In the analyze phase, X are the causes. And if you remember, in the improve phase, X are the factors or the problems or the factors. So these are different magnitude of the X and Y that we discussed. We all know that whenever we think of starting a Six Sigma project, that what I said earlier, it starts with the customer dissatisfaction and finishes off with the customer satisfaction. So the first thing that triggers a Six Sigma initiative is a dissatisfaction of the customer. I generally don't talk about that much in a green belt or a black belt to that extent. But over here, I want to discuss when you actually see Six Sigma initiatives getting started, or people are yet to start Six Sigma initiative in your organization. If you ask somebody, what is the voice of the customer? Many times we will see that the voice of the customer is very vague, because when we used to work in GE, as I said, that I worked for many, many years in GE, what we used to do in GE, when we used to work with our vendors who are all well trained on Six Sigma, yes, we used to train them first, and then we used to interact with them. So when we used to interact with them, we used to talk in terms of Six Sigma language. The boss, what is your VOC? Sir, what is your CTQ? They used to understand. But you cannot always expect that all your customers, all your other people, all should be Six Sigma trained, Six Sigma educated people. You cannot expect, right? So you should not talk with them in the technical terminology of Six Sigma, like voice of the customer. They will not understand what is voice of the customer. I don't know. It will make them confused further. So we have to first understand the satisfaction of the dissatisfaction of the customer, and that is what is called a voice of the customer. For the voice of the customer, which many times, as I said, can come in a very vague term. It is not very clear. I am not happy with your quality deliverables. I am not happy with your product quality. What does it mean? And these are from my own experience I'm sharing, not that it's an example. I have heard people say that the customer is writing a mail that he is not very happy with the quality criteria of the product. Which product? Why he is not happy? Nothing is clear. So for that, you need to have a discussion with the customer to find out, sir, I have sent you 3 products. Which product you are talking about? Sir, why you are not happy? Could you please kindly explain? This is how you need to understand. So the voice of the customer or the dissatisfaction of the customer ideally can come in many ways. One of them is interviews, one-to-one discussion with the customer. Interview means one-to-one discussion with either on telephone or on call or on video conferences, whatever. You understand the voice of the customer, the dissatisfaction of the customer as it comes. Next is a survey. Customer satisfaction survey. Whatever process that I have seen in many organizations towards collection of voice of the customer, this is one of the most scientific way of collecting the voice of the customer, which in many organizations they call customer satisfaction survey, CSAT method. Very commonly used term I have seen, where every organization defines some 14 to 15 or 20 parameters, and then they send it to the customers. The boss, please rate us in a range of 1 to 10 how we are performing as per you based on these parameters. Then what the customer does, they go through all the parameters and they put their ratings. Ideally, the rating should always be there within range of 8 to 10, 8, 9, 10. 8 is generally very good, 9 is excellent, 10 is superlative, something. You know, every organization can define the way they want to define. So every organization should expect that all my customers should be rating me in 8, 9, 10. That means the customers are very happy. So I don't have to worry. But if the customer is not happy with a certain parameter, he will give a low rating, obvious. Say, customer has given a 5 rating in some parameter. And when he gives a 5 rating, he should ideally put a comment. Why I gave a 5 rating? Because this particular area I see this problem, something like this. So based on that feedback, based on that comment, you can think of, can we now go for an improvement of the process to that extent so that that part can improve? That can lead to a Six Sigma initiative. Focus groups in banking organization. In banking organizations, we see relationship managers nowadays. Relationship managers, where relationship managers, what they do, they deal with a specific group of customers. Some customers they deal with just to understand, sir, how happy with you are you with our services, whether you have any complaints, what is your satisfaction rating in a range of 1 to 10. You will see, you will experience all these things. These come from the focus groups interaction with the customer. Observing the customer, we had a discussion on this during our black belt session with one gentleman, I remember. Observing the customer, I don't prefer to be a good way of collecting the VOC of the customer. So let us not discussing, because our observation could be very wrong also. Complaints. Being a person from the quality area, quality domain, I, to be very honest with you, will not entertain many customer complaints or escalations to come. When does the customer actually complain? The customer has asked for some improvement and it is not done. Finally, he complains. Look, nothing is doing. I'm writing about this for quite some time, but nobody is paying any heed to my problems. This is a customer complaint. Many times customer escalations are there. So even if we don't want, nobody wants, but still this comes. So these could lead to some Sigma initiative improvement, Six Sigma initiative improvement. When we talk about voice of the customer, as we say, whenever you have the dissatisfaction of the customer, that can ideally lead to, a discussion with the customer. Whenever there is a dissatisfaction from the customer, it will lead to some discussion with the customer to understand why there is a dissatisfaction, what exactly is his or her dissatisfaction. Accordingly, now you have to finally make him satisfied. So you will definitely ask him, sir, what is your target? Or the customer, without being asked, will tell you, this is my target. This is my target. You are giving me around greater than equal to 30% defects you are sending me each time for the deliveries, which I cannot accept. I want only 2% defect. So from 30% quality, you have to reduce the defects to less than 2%, less than 3% maybe. So that is the target which is given by the customer, which is the critical to quality of the CTQ. I think you people shouldn't have any confusion understanding the CTQ thing at this moment, because we have already covered this in our black belt. But still, this is very important for us to understand. And I say, as a master black belt, when in a Six Sigma project, you see that the project has already collected the CTQ, their initial interaction with the customer can stop there. No further discussion is required with the customer, because now we have got his target. Now it is our responsibility to attain that target of being a process improvement. That CTQ is finalized, sealed, it is done. We have to attain that now. So after attaining the CTQ, after getting the CTQ, we can say that our initial interaction with the customer has stopped. We need not discuss any further with the customer, not required actually. Now we proceed to find out or derive our specification limits, upper specification and the lower specification limits. So from the VOC, we derive our CTQ. From the CTQ, we derive our upper and the lower specification limits. This is what we define. As I say, less than equal to 3% is the defect that the customer could expect. 3% will be my upper specification limit. By default, 0% will be my lower specification limit. These are some quality initiatives. Parties to a Six Sigma initiative. Parties to a Six Sigma initiative, these are all some theoretical thing which already talks about the process focus. The parties to a Six Sigma initiative, as we can understand, sponsor, if you remember, the departmental process which a Six Sigma project is going to get improved. The process owner or the departmental head is ideally the sponsor who owns that process. Who owns that process? That person is the sponsor. These are the ideal parties to a Six Sigma initiative. Ideal. Okay, not necessary. Every organization can have that. You won't believe, I have seen many organizations which has only green belts. No black belts, no master black belt. Forget about master black belts. No black belts even. But still they do Six Sigma in a very mild way, not a very big way. They do green belts. They do green belts like that. Okay. So the green belts, based on their experience, there are some senior green belts like this. So they almost try to perform the role of a black belt over there. Black belts, sometimes if there are one or two black belts, they try to, based on their experience, try to work as a master black belt. Not always, but to an extent. But in GE, I had seen in Motorola, I have seen in General Motors in Detroit, where they used to have this organization, Six Sigma organization, where there used to be sponsored all the time. There used to be 2 or 3 master black belts who used to strategize the Six Sigma initiative in an organization. There used to be black belts who used to govern the Six Sigma initiative in their organization and reviews, and green belts who basically used to execute and lead the Six Sigma initiatives. Yellow belt people who basically are the associates, like team members. Team members could be yellow belt people also, or people who might have just gone through some awareness session of the Six Sigma initiative. They could be acting as a team member to any Six Sigma initiative. So these are some ideal scenarios of a Six Sigma structure in any organization that could have. Very important thing. We have discussed this earlier also many times, but why I'm stressing this again and again, that for you people, identifying this does not become an issue. Any problem or pain area might not lead to a Six Sigma initiative or project. Any problem or pain area which does not have an immediate solution, which needs to be analyzed, which needs to be explored, how to improve, that only would apply for an ideal Six Sigma project. As I told you, we call it band-aid improvement, bandage. You have a cut, blood is coming out, you just put a bandage, the blood will stop, but it is not fully cured. You just prevented that. That is called a quick improvement, bandage improvement. We call it band-aid improvement. Okay. But Six Sigma is a permanent or a continual improvement that we do. Six Sigma project, as we say, now we are going into this project approach. A Six Sigma is a methodical approach, or Six Sigma project is a methodical approach, because I said Six Sigma is a structured and systematic way of doing a process improvement. So definitely it's a methodical approach which follows statistically and qualitatively, not only that, also as a management-driven way to achieve definite improvement in a process or even to introduce a new process. It leads to definite savings to the organization, may it be in percentage or in financial values. We have discussed this. It has to be constantly reviewed and retuned to sustain that improvement, because if the improvement is not sustained, it is not a Six Sigma initiative. If the improvement is not sustained, it is not a Six Sigma initiative for sure. So Six Sigma initiative has to be constantly reviewed, constantly monitored, constantly tracked. How long, that you have to decide. Not all improvements will be tracked for more number of time. Some could be for 2 months, some could be for 3 months, some could be for 4 months, some could be for 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, whatever the case may be, that you have to decide for your organization. Why you have to decide? Because you are the person who are responsible for the PDCAs. And here your role as a master black belt will come into place, where you have to educate and guide the black belt, because these people might have done their certification but might not be having that much of experience towards the strategization and taking management decisions, where you have to step in and help them towards that. We discussed about DMAC and the DMAC methodology. For a DMAC methodology, these are the two main methodologies that we have in any Six Sigma initiative. Ideally, when there is an improvement process, that is, you have an existing process in your organization and you want to improve that existing process. 90% of the cases globally, Six Sigma projects are of DMAC types. I will say most projects are of DMAC methodology, where an organization has a process, they want to implement that, they want to improve that process. Then comes the DMAC methodology, that is the improvement process. In a DMAC methodology, there are 5 phases: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, which we all know. I don't want to go into much details into this. There is also another methodology which is called the creation process, which we will discuss quite in detail maybe tomorrow. Creation process, that means whenever we find in an organization there is no process that exists, I want to design a new process, which is called Design for Six Sigma, or DFSS. And this DFSS is done using a DMAD-V methodology. So any improvement process is done with a DMAD methodology. Any creation process or new designing process is done with a DMAD-V methodology. And this creation process is ideally called a DFSS, that is the Design for Six Sigma. Remember, in a Six Sigma initiative, whether you have a DMAC process or you have a DMAD-V process, whatever process you have, that should be part of your BPMS or QMS, that is Business Process Management System, or your quality management. You should state about your Six Sigma initiative should also be included in your quality management system or business management system. The types of Six Sigma project, as I said, the types of Six Sigma project will be either of a DMAC type or of a DMAD-V type. For a DMAC type, which is improvement of an existing process, there are 5 phases defined, where we basically talk about what is the problem. That means we identify the problem. In the measure phase, we talk about how much is the problem. That means we quantify problem now. In the analyze phase, we basically talk about why there is the problem. That means we try to analyze the root cause of the problem. In the improve phase, we try to check how to improve the problem. How? Because in the analyze phase, we have now got all the root causes. From the root causes, how now to improve the problem that we do in the improve phase. And in the control phase, we ideally talk how to sustain and control the improvement so that we can clearly say our improvement is a continual improvement and a successful improvement that we have done. In the DFSS, Design for Six Sigma, or a DMAT-V process, the define is ideally the same. We discuss again what is the problem. In the measure phase, ideally, there is no existing data since there is no process in place. But problem-related data for not having the design that could be perhaps available with us. What are the problems that we are facing for not having that particular design? That data could be available. Analyze is a bit different from what we use in the DMAT methodology. In the analyze phase, in the DMAT methodology, DMAT-V methodology, we talk about how to introduce a new process. What is the way we should introduce a new process? And design, what would be the new process or design? Here we talked about the actual design. And verify, after the design is done, check whether the completed design is as per that what we have analyzed, and then finally transition it to the customer. Understanding the motive behind Six Sigma implementation. And here you will play a big role as a master black belt. When we talk about Six Sigma just as an improvement and saving at the bottom, we use Six Sigma as a tool or a technique. Your role comes into place when we use Six Sigma as an initiative or as a platform for growth of the organization with improved process. Here you are using Six Sigma as a strategy. And what is Six Sigma as a philosophy? That means organizational cultural change. The organization culture change, that means the mindset of the people change. We will talk about mindset change again after a one or two slides. The mindset of the organization change, the mindset of the people change, as I've seen in GE. Whenever we think of any improvement, we always think about Six Sigma. That is a mindset change. Can we do it in a Six Sigma way? No, Six Sigma might not be applicable in this way. Fine. But we think about that, right? We have to think about and then take a decision. I'm not saying that 100% of the improvement opportunities will lead to a Six Sigma initiative, but we have to have our initial improvement towards that. We have to have our initiative towards that. So here, Six Sigma with a growth with improved process, change the world of the organization. That means change the environment of the organization, the mindset of the organization, leading to an improved operational excellence of the organization. That is where Six Sigma as a strategy, Six Sigma as a culture, Six Sigma as a mindset change, you people have to bring in. That is what will be the expectations from you as a master black belt in an organization. This is what I was talking about. Deming's approach, Sir Edward Deming's approach. It's a mindset change we need to have. 85% of the reasons for failure to meet customers' expectations are related to deficiencies in the systems and process rather than employees. If there is some process where people are not able to do something, generally what we say, the people are not able to do work properly. The people are not good. That is the general human tendency. But Six Sigma tells you to change your mindset and think, is the first thing, is there a problem in the process because of which these people are not able to do it? It's not that easy, huh? Take it from me. It is not that easy, but you have to start thinking this way. This is a mindset change that we have. And 85% of the reasons we have seen overall, as per Sir Edward Deming, that 85% of the reasons to failure to meet customers' expectations are not because of employees or people, but because of deficiencies or problems in the system and the processes. The role of management is to change the process rather than pushing individuals to do better. 15% of the time, on an average, it could be because of people. That is always there. But majority, 85% of the time, it is due to mainly because of problem in the process. And that's Six Sigma. We insist that we concentrate on process improvement because in a Six Sigma initiative like ISO, we don't go for fault finding exercise, but fact finding exercise. Fault finding becomes with individuals that we are not interested. We are dealing with fact finding exercise. We try to understand facts, which comes with data to check what is the problem, how much is the problem, and then go for resolution. This is what we do for the Six Sigma approach. When we discuss about Six Sigma as an initiative, and when we talk about customers' expectations, there are three kinds of customers' expectations. If you remember, we discussed that in our Black Belt session also. Must be expectations. If the customer wants quality to be improved, that is the must be expectation that the quality should be improved. That is must be. It should be. If that is also not done, forget about the customer. The must be expectation. The fasting itself is not done. So that is a must be expectation. Satisfier or comforter. A customer is satisfied or comfortable when his expectations are met. A customer wants all the deliverables should be met between 1 day to 3 days. And you, after your process is improved, you deliver all the products or services to him within 1 day to 3 days, he is satisfied. Remember, you can note it down. This is strong. I am a strong believer of this sentence which I am telling you. And this I learned from GE. Okay. If the customer is satisfied, you are satisfied. That means you remain satisfied. If you remain satisfied, your organization remains satisfied. If your organization remains satisfied, your employees remain satisfied. So everywhere you have a satisfactory and satisfied environment, you can spend good sleep at night. Everybody wants a good sleep at night, right? Tension-free life. So you can have when the customer is satisfied. So your first intention should always be to satisfy your customer and make him satisfied or comfortable by just meeting what he has expected. He has expected as per the CTQ, as per the USL and the LSL. And what is delighter? Delighter is something when you exceed the expectation. I have seen quite a few projects in many organizations. Suppose the customer has asked for 95% quality or 97% quality. 3% defect he can still allow. The improvement, the way it has been done, it went so good that you achieved actually 99% quality. That 1% defect, of course, is still there. That's fine. Do you go to the customer, tell him immediately, boss, from tomorrow I give you 99%? He will be delighted, right? He was expecting 3% defects from you. You give him 1%, 2% less. He's delighted. That is above with expectations, which is called moving up the value chain. You remember in one of the slide earlier, I showed you that moving up the value chain, which I told you I will discuss it afterwards. Here comes moving up the value chain, which is a quality management term we use. Moving up the value chain means giving the customer something more value than what he expected. But can you entertain them all time? As I told you, In GE, I gave this example earlier also in my black belt session. In GE, we used to have an internal target within us. We used to have an internal target. Say out of, say, 10,000 customers, say, I'm just giving an example, say out of 10,000 customers, 1,000 customers are our key customers, critical customers. They gives us the maximum business. The most of our industry is running under those customers. Okay, so these are our key customers, critical customers. Every organization has some key or critical customers. Now, we used to have an internal target within us that we should try to make this year, we should try to make 10% of our key customers delight. We used to have an internal target within us. We never used to share that with anyone. It was our internal quality target. So 10% of our key customer means it is only 100 out of 1,000, 10%, 100 customers. This year, we will try to make them delighted. So good. That is wonderful task. If we can make, maybe next year, we will try to make 15% of our customers. Wonderful. This way, we are trying to delight our customers who are getting something more than what they expected, but you cannot do that every time. So never ever think of, and this is how you have to explain the strategy of Six Sigma to your people in your organization. Just look, gentlemen or ladies and gentlemen, you cannot delight your customers all the time. You cannot delight your customers all the time. You can at times, but before trying to delight a customer, be very, very sure. I say 500% sure. What does it mean? Be 5 times 100% sure. Can I now really delight my customer? Is my process well sustained? Can I really do that? Can I really do this? Can I really do that? Ask 5 times yourself the answer. When 5 times you feel, no, we are still not very sure, don't delight the customer. Because the customer itself is already satisfied. He's getting what is expected. He is not an unhappy customer. So be safe there. Try to delight a customer only when you feel, I have sustained my improvement for 9 months. I have attained 99% and I'm still maintaining that 99%. So no fear. We can now go and commit to the customer. Very good. Go and commit to the customer. But before that, be very extra sure. Don't you feel these are all management capabilities? Don't you feel these are all management strategies that you have to take? You means not you always. You have to help the black belt and the green belt to take those decisions themselves. They might not be always able to do it. Sometimes the management will need your help in doing this. As I told you, you act as a bridge between both the parties. So you have to play a dual role over here. Okay? Six Sigma problem solving approach. From the bottom, identification of the customer requirement, that basically leads to your Six Sigma project identification. After the project is identified, we go for identification of data and facts and measure of how much is the data. That basically leads to a complete Six Sigma project completion. That is how from the customer's initial requirement, we finally lead to a Six Sigma project to get completed. Six Sigma is a rigorous analytical tool or approach for problem solving. Didn't I tell you earlier? While you work as a master black belt, you have to have an analytical frame of mind. Always you should be open to analysis. Am I doing this right? I am doing this. Is there any risk involved if I do this? At each stage, you have to think of it. Not only you have to think of it, you have to guide others so that they can also start thinking this way. This way, a culture goes in the organization. That is how a culture goes in the organization. And remember, again, I am repeating, an organization becomes good. An organization becomes good when it goes for a proper culture, a good culture of process improvement in the organization. Project identification, sources of potential projects. We have discussed about the voice of the customer. Now, this voice of the customer should be very well related to your voice of the business. That means the process that you are going to eventually improve should be your business process, your organization process. So it is the voice of the business and the voice of the customer should be in the same line. VOP, voice of the process. The voice of the process belongs to your business. So your VOB, VOC, VOP, both all the three are related to each other. And who runs the process? The employees runs the process, right? So VOE, or voice of the employee. So all these four processes, you cannot just take a voice of the process, ignoring the other three and do it. You cannot. You should always keep the four in mind. Then only you can do it. Because you might think of, I will improve the process this way. But if the employees don't feel it that way, you have to take their feedback also. Look, you are a leader. You are a person who is laying down the strategies. That does not mean that you can whip around and do whatever you want. Okay? You have to understand this. Cost of good quality. We have understood about one key process indicator, which is called cost of quality in your organization. Every organization has KPIs in place based on which they measure their own performance. Own performance they measure. So one of the very common KPI that I have seen in most organizations is COQ, or cost of quality. This cost of quality is ideally divided into two parts. Cost of good quality. Cost of good quality are those costs which are incurred to maintain a good quality. Training cost. Training cost. Don't you feel why you give training to employees? So that their skill matrix improves. And if their skill matrix improves, they are expected to commit less mistakes. If they commit less mistakes, lesser defects or no defects will go to the customer. So isn't it a cost of good quality? Next, reviews and testing. I told you reviews and testing, quality control, quality checks in a manufacturing organization, reviews and testing in an IT organization, reviews in a banking organization. Why we need to do all these things? So that defects are detected beforehand, so that defects are detected beforehand, rectified, and then product or services sent to the customers. So the customers are getting either no defects or very less defects. So these are the cost. Those are getting incurred to maintain a good quality in the organization. The other aspect is cost of poor quality. Cost of poor quality concept is quite a bit different. Cost of poor quality talks about when we feel that there is already a poor quality which is being generated. That means what? You have already passed on defects to the customer. What the customer will do? They are not going to dance with those, right? They are going to send you back those defective items. That Ashia, Jeremy, and Sherihan, please rectify these mistakes, rectify these defects, repair these defects, correct these defects, and then send me the corrected items. So you work on these items again. Those are cost of poor quality, because your work towards rework, work towards rectification, all this, customer does not pay you. You are paying from your own pocket So those are your own cost. So these are the cost that you incur as because you have generated a poor quality. As a as a master black belt, you have to check in this area whether the organization is thinking towards strategizing that they are trying to strategize whether cost of poor quality could be made zero and cost of good quality could be balanced or controlled properly. Here you can play an important role. People might ask you, your management might ask you, how can I make cost of poor quality zero? Your answer could be, you can make your cost of poor quality zero if you can have zero defects produced. Zero defects leads to zero rework. So that means what? There are no cost of poor quality. But can you have any organization which does not have any training, does not have any reviews testing, does not have any quality control, quality checks? You cannot. There should be organization which anyway should have all these activities. But here also your role as a master black belt as part of management, you can help them to strategize how much we should ideally now give on training. Maybe we are 1 year down the line, we have started our business. Initially, our training cost was very high. Now, the process is more or less matured over time. So we can reduce the training maybe to 30%. I'm just giving an example. Also, the reviews and testing, which we were doing 70% of our time, maybe we can reduce it to 40% now. This way we can also strategize. So you can see at each stage of your activity, you as an MBB or a master black belt can help towards the organization in strategizing how you can strategize the different aspects of the process initiation. Green belt and black belt, I don't want to discuss much about it over here, green belt and black belt, because green belt and black belt, as you know, we will discuss more about black belt and master black belt, yes. Green belt and black belt, let's still have a quick discussion, green belt and black belt. Green belt and black belt, as we all know, basically talks about a green belt and black belt. The difference between the two comes in three folds. If you remember, we discussed this in our black belt session also. Come ideally in three folds. First, from the training perspective, which we have discussed. Second, from the project standpoint. Here also you can play a very important role as a master black belt. That is, you define the strategy or the criteria in the organization. Which criteria will tell you that this is a green belt project for your organization, and which criteria will be there for a black belt project in your organization? Because the criteria to set whether it is a green belt or a black belt project fully depends on the organization. There is no hard and fast rule, but ideally a black belt project will have a wider scope of activities, an umbrella level activity. What is that umbrella level? A level of activity which covers a wider area. That is called an umbrella activity. Okay. Sometimes we used to improve a process which is related to the full part of one process. So it's a much wider scope. We used to treat it as a black belt project. Black belt project, if you feel, it leads to many other departments concerned. So many wide areas you are keeping into contact. These you can define as a black belt project. So as a master black belt, you can take a very lead role in strategizing which projects will be treated as a green belt project in your organization and which one could be a black belt project in your organization. So to talk about the difference between a green belt and black belt, I will say a green belt basically talks about execution In a training, we have already earlier discussed, I don't want to repeat the training part. From the project standpoint, green belt could be with a limited scope or smaller scope of activity improvement. We can treat it as a green belt project. Black belt, necessarily a wider scope of activities of improvement, a bigger scope of wider scope of improvement. We can treat it as a black belt project. Also, you can mention some financial pattern. If the financial savings is from this much UAE currency, whatever you say, from this to this, we will treat it as a black belt, a green belt project. Any amount more than this, we will treat it as a black belt project. So that also you can set as a criteria for your organization. If that criteria is already not set already, you can afresh set that criteria. These are the areas where you can step in to showcase a value-added role as an MBB in your particular organization. And the third difference that I try to project between a green belt and black belt more so will be on the role that they play, which I have already discussed many times. That a green belt is ideally expected to execute and lead a Six Sigma project, ideally Six Sigma green belt project. A black belt person is ideally expected to lead and execute a black belt project, and at the same time, he mentors Six Sigma project for all or some green belts. I have highlighted this part over here. I told you a black belt's role is more of a mentor. A mentor, he mentors other Six Sigma projects. I remember when I used to work in GE, we were around 4 or 5 black belts were there that time. At one point of time, we used to do our own black belt projects. At the same time, I remember many times I used to monitor or handhold another 4 or 5 green belt projects till completion and help them to complete their projects. So that dual role you have to play. What is the difference between a black belt and a master black belt? Six Sigma master black belts are Six Sigma quality experts, we can say, that are responsible for the strategic implementations of process improvement within an organization. Am I not saying that again and again? They have to set the strategies. Master black belt main responsibilities include training and mentoring of black belts and green belts, helping them to prioritize activities, select and charter high impact projects, maintaining the integrity of the Six Sigma measurements, improvements, and toll gates. Look, toll gates is coming over here. Toll gates will be one of your main area to strategize, which I will discuss later, not today. And developing, maintaining, and revising Six Sigma training materials. This is another important area that you have to work on. You have to prepare Six Sigma training materials. Not only that, you have to impart regular basis awareness session within your organization towards Six Sigma. If you are not there, maybe you will see some senior black belts are also doing it, or maybe some senior green belts are doing it. Very good. Be there as an observer to check whether everything is done getting properly or not. If everything is done properly, wonderful. Try to chip in whenever it is needed to give your experience in that also. The master black belt is qualified to teach other Six Sigma facilitators the methodologies, tools, and applications in all functions and all levels of the organization, and are a resource for utilizing statistical process control, typically just outside the black belt knowledge base within process, obviously, because whatever the green belt and black belt are already doing, you are not supposed to do that, right? You can only help them or advise them how to do it properly. You can do something more than what these people are doing. They ideally work as a bridge between the improvement process and the management. These I have discussed many, many times with you. They act as a bridge. This is a very important role. They act as a bridge between the management of the organization and the improvement opportunity that is being worked upon. They act as a bridge between the two. Okay, and they should be independent people. They are not related or associated with a particular project. What we will do, we will take a break now. Actually, this is my dinner time. It is almost 10 o'clock by my watch. So we will have a break till 10:15. We will have a break till 10:15. So we will come back after the break and we will discuss further. Okay. So far, so good with all of you. Ashia, Jeremy, and Shirihan. Everything going good? Okay.
Yes, sir. Everything is
Okay.
good.
Okay. Good. Good. So you people had your dinner already, or it is too early for you?
We already.
Okay. Yeah. You already had it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Take your
Okay.
time,
Okay.
sir. Take your
No.
time.
No. I will. We will have at 10:15 by my watch. We will come back. Okay. Thank you.
What is that, sir? What is the time here in Saudi? 10:15 is how?
10:15 will be 1.5 hours behind, I guess. What is your time now?
Okay.
What is your time
It's
now?
7:30 here.
Oh, 7:30. So 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. So you come back at 7:50, 20 minutes
Okay.
from now. Okay.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Hi, Ate Asia. Hi, Ate Sharihan. How are you?
Hey, Jerry, crazy?
Hi, Ate Si.
Why Sherihan too much silent?
You know that this session is recorded.
Oh my God, silent.
Ate Shay, kumusta ka dyan? Hindi ka naman hindi ka naman inaantok. Inaantok ako dito, nakatulog na ako.
It's 12:30 in the a.m. Midnight. It's past midnight
I
here.
know. So 1 hour na lang.
1 hour. It's okay.
Yeah, let's finish this. Oh my God.
Hi, Ate Si.
Yes, Sherry, miss you really. You see, Alhamdulillah, we are here once again.
Yes, Ate Si. Good.
All credit goes to Jeremy.
Yes.
You know, again, 5 to 10 minutes again, I slept because this. Oh my God. You know, only I am afraid from Sir Debeshish. Only I am afraid. Otherwise, maybe 1 hour I will sleep.
Wait, I thought you're afraid from Jeremy.
No, I will kill him one time. But it is really informative. I learned a lot, really. I cannot tell you something. Even today, Jerry asked me, Atyasi, you can run a project or I mean, you can teach or something. I said, oh my God, I know a lot of things now.
You don't know English.
Welcome back after the break, our last break rather. All of you are back, right? Ashia, Jeremy, Shirihan, all of you are back. You can just put a thumbs up if you are back, please.
Yes, sir. We're
Oh,
here.
okay, good, good. Ashia and Shirihan all are there. Okay. Actually, in our black belt session, I remember, Jeremy, you were regular over there. Ashia was also regular in attending. I don't recollect whether Sherian was there in all the sessions. I was not very sure, but maybe he might have referred to one or two recorded sessions also. I'm not very sure that I've seen his name all the time. Okay. But okay, no problem. Let us now try to understand the toll gate process that we have. Toll gate process, we will have a separate discussion more in on some other days. We will have a detailed discussion on toll gate review, especially because Master Black Belt plays a very important role towards the strategizing of the toll gate process of each and every phase of a Six Sigma project. But over here, we are just trying to understand overall the toll gate process, which we have to do after each and every successful phase of the Six Sigma methodology, just to check whether whatever work we were supposed to do in case of a particular phase, are all this done to a great extent? Can we now move to this other phase? Can we now move to the next phase? As I told you that for toll gate process, we will have a detailed discussion on all the toll gate process and how to prepare the checklist, what could be the generic contents of the checklist, and as a master black belt, what role you can play on the toll gate process. Because toll gate process, if you remember that I discussed in our black belt session also, of course, in short, that toll gate process is also a management review, because toll gate process, I have seen organizations like GE and General Motors where, and also in one or two Indian organizations where the master black belt plays the lead role in arranging for a toll gate review, and he presides over that meeting. Okay, the actual review could be done by the black belt or the green belt, as the case may be, as the project is going on. But the master black belt presides over that. If he feels that something is not going the way it should have been going, he can immediately refer to that and then act accordingly. Okay. So the toolkit process, after the completion of each phase, as I said, that is define, measure, analyze, improve, or control, or in case of a DMAD, we define, measure, analyze, design, and validate or verify. Each Six Sigma project could be represented to the leadership team, and that leadership team ideally has the master black belt heading that leadership team, which is called the gate review or checkpoint review or toll gate review. It could be coming in different names for different organizations. The purpose of this review, as I said, is to monitor team progress, reinforce priorities, and align project to business strategies that is required for each and every phase that we are doing. This gives an opportunity for the leadership team to provide ongoing coaching. That's what exactly I said, that whenever the master black belt might feel that no, something seems to be not going the way it should be, they can step in and give their observations. Typical participants at the toll gate reviews are green belt, black belt, project sponsor, master black belt, and other stakeholders. So many people might not be required. To be very honest with you, if there is a green belt person, green belt, black belt, and a master black belt sponsor, if available, and other stakeholders might not be always necessary, but that also depends on project to project basis, what you want to have and how many people you want to have. The toll gate review has to be a formal review. That means There should be a formal request going to the respective stakeholders that we are going to have a toll gate review on such and such day for this particular phase. And the minutes of the meeting has to be properly maintained and circulated. The possible outcomes, as I always say for a toll gate process, could be everything looks good. You can safely move to the next phase of the Six Sigma project, or some minor changes are required. Do that and then move ahead. Or some major changes are required. Make those changes, redo another round of toll gate process, and then only go for approval and then move to the next phase. You cannot go to the next phase unless all the answers to your toll gate reviews are either green or okay or yes. Then only you can move to the next phase, ideally. The last bullet, of course, shows a very, what I would say, very unique opportunity, that is project is no longer aligned with the business and should be stopped. Generally, it does not happen. I don't recollect any example of any project which was stopped totally. So the first three are the major areas which you can really consider in case of a toll gate review. Toll gate reviews basically helps reduce projected risks, as you are not waiting until the end of the project to share your findings with the leadership team. That means what? You have done your defined phase. As I told you, Six Sigma is not only situational, but Six Sigma evolves over time. I remember 15 to 16 years back, this toll gate process was not practiced to that greater extent earlier. So what used to happen in that way? Not always used to happen. That's what I mean. It was not a very regular process, regular management process. So what used to happen? We have done with our defined phase. Say it's a DMAC methodology we are doing. We are done with our defined phase, measure phase. We are in the analyze phase. And certainly we realized while we are working on the analyze phase, certain things we have missed out in the defined phase, perhaps. So we went back to the defined phase, redo the defined phase to an extent. Redoing the defined phase will have an impact on the measure phase. Doing some work on the measure phase, redoing some part of the measure phase could have an impact on the analyze phase. So not only you are to an extent redoing each phase, at the same time, your timeline for completion of the project is unnecessarily getting extended, which you can easily avoid by doing a proper toll gate review at the end of each phase, so that we can understand what are the work that we are supposed to do at each phase, whether those are done to the ultimate satisfaction or not. When we all opine that yes, everything is done as per perfect scenario, no hassle as such, then only we will move to the next stage. That is how we do a toll gate process. But as I told you, this toll gate review, we have a separate section on this. So in a master black belt session, that we will definitely discuss toll gate process in much more detail afterwards. The balance scorecard, if you remember, another management area. A balance scorecard is the most commonly used term, BSC. We call it BSC in many organizations I have seen. Could be in your organization, it could be named in a different MIS tool itself. It could have whatever name, it could be ABC reporting also, whatever name it could be. But it basically talks about the performance measurement of each and every organization for a particular timeline. Ideally, a balanced scorecard is maintained in a four scope area. One is employee related area, another is customer related area, another is performance related area, another could be employee or revenue related area, financial related area, another is process related area. So these are generally the four areas based on which we try to measure how good an organization has performed, maybe for a particular month. How does this constitute the balance scorecard? How it ideally can be done, as I said, financial area, customer area, internal business processes, and organizational capacity, knowledge management, or even employee related thing. That also we can come in, take into place. How does it really work? Suppose in a balanced scorecard, I have seen in organizations, you could try to relate your organization's processes. Generally, balanced scorecards are maintained each month for a particular project. Suppose in one department, there are 5 projects. So 5 projects are preparing their own BSc. At the departmental level, there will be one BSc which will be a summation or summary of all the project BSc. So from the project BSc, we have a departmental BSc. From the departmental BSc, we can have a business unit BSc, a balance scorecard. And from the different business unit BSc, we can finally have one organizational BSc, a balance scorecard. This is how it is a pyramid stature. It's a pyramid stature that is flat on the bottom and pinpoint on the top. This is how a balanced scorecard can be accumulated and summarized for the organization. But financial, customer, internal process, learning and growth, or even employee related areas, this could be generally the 4 areas based on which the performance of an organization is measured either per month or per quarter or per 6 months or per year. Ideally, I would prefer, as a master black belt, you can also strategize. We will do this every 3 months or every month for our projects. Every month we will strategize this thing. These are balanced scorecard, to be very honest with you, not exactly is a MBB on master black belt responsibility. A balanced scorecard actually is a management scorecard where you could be part of that management. That's okay. But balance scorecard is usually a management decision being made, a management dashboard that is being made, where you will be setting criteria. You mean the management, they will be setting criteria that for financial, if my revenue is from this amount to that amount, we will mark it as green. If this amount to that amount, we will mark it as amber. If this amount to that amount or this percentage to that percentage, we will mark it as red. So in any area like this, criteria can be set by your own organization. And now, based on the area, whether it is financial or employees or customer or internal processes, any area where for a particular month or for a particular quarter or for a particular 6 month or for a particular year, you feel one area is turning red or being red, that's a problem area. So that area, as a management MBB, as a management, that is your MBB master black belt, you can take a decision whether that area can lead to a Six Sigma initiative. If you feel customer satisfaction rating is red for a particular month and you track it for 3 consecutive months, I am not telling you if it comes red only for 1 month, you immediately start a Six Sigma project. That has to be strategized, how you want to do it. But I will give you an example. 1 month it could be red. Try for that second month or third month also. And if you see for 3 consecutive months, the rating has been red. Maybe employee satisfaction survey, employees are not happy. Or utilization is one area. For consecutive 3 months, it is red. Don't you feel it's an area which needs to be improved now? So here your role as a master black belt can be helpful, where you can start understanding this area, and then you can talk to your green belt and black belt boss. This is one area where I see in your particular project, where I can see it is going continuously rate for consecutive 3 months. Please check whether this can be treated as an Six Sigma initiative in this case. And surely you can understand, in this case, your customer will be an internal customer, because it is an internal tracking that you are done. Unless and until it is customer related, which is an external customer. But all the other areas are internal to your nature. So you have to understand in that perspective and then evaluate how it is going on in that way and track it that way over here. So balance scorecard, I will say, is a very important measure, which is something like a management information system or a radar reporting kind of, where it shows what is the organizational performance in each and every area. Like, as I said, see the last bullet. Each metric is tracked usually on a monthly basis. That's what I said, ideally, and reviewed by management. If a matrix is red, which is beyond target, it can be one of the potential Lean Six Sigma project area. This is exactly what I said. Now, any number of measures you can define. You can have your one area. You won't believe, I have seen one organization in Bangalore in India, where one of the area they want to track is innovation. Innovation, because they have found out that innovation is a one area, innovation within projects, innovation within people. Innovation is one of the area which has been marked by customers as one of the improvement area for you in your organization. So they started thinking, we will always check on innovation. Of course, I don't recollect whether I had seen any red area on innovation, but so you can decide for your own organization which area you are trying for your organization. Accordingly, you can start understanding that and take it forward as a Six Sigma initiative based on your understanding of the process. If you feel that consecutively, maybe not just for a month, it will be an overkill, maybe for 2 months wait, and if you see consecutively it is red or amber. Amber means what? There is a risk. Amber is, it is going to be red now, so you can take a proper check on that. I'm not saying that each and amber, each and every red you should take it as a Six Sigma opportunity, but these are potential opportunities. That's why it is written, these are potential Six Sigma projects. You have to now understand, can we really, sometimes it might be happening that yes, there is a red over there and I know why it is red. Management might say, we know why it is red. There were no sales for the last 1 year due to COVID impact. So if the COVID impact slows down, things will improve. So doing a Six Sigma project in this case might not help. So based on that, you have to decide. So whenever there is an opportunity potential, you have to understand, can we do it in a Six Sigma role or Six Sigma way and do it? So this is how a balanced scorecard have to be understood. Whatever name you may have it in your organization, you could be having many other MIS reports in your organization, which is one of the recent trends we have in many organizations. We have automated tools where all the management information system reporting part is done. The progress, the performance reporting of the organization are done. But the thing is, we prepare many reports, we don't study them. That is where the problem is. For most organizations, the problem is we do many things, we don't monitor those, we don't track those unless and until there is an audit. Because when we go for audits, external audits or process audits, we check all the reports. Boss, this is something red. Consecutively 3 months, it is getting red. What plan you have to improve that? They say, sir, we have already started with the Six Sigma initiative on that. Okay, could I see that? They show me, yes, it is related to this. Wonderful. I did not go into the Six Sigma project to see what they are doing. Suppose I don't know Six Sigma, so I will not be able to understand. But I think at this, I can be sure that the approach towards the process improvement is very much over there. So this is how you have to understand and work towards a balanced scorecard thing and the process performance mechanism of each and every organization based on your priority and based on your frequency, whatever you decide, whether you do it every month, whether you do it, as I said, and it is stated over there also, per month is advised. I will say it is advisable, but you can even track it for consecutive 2 months or 3 months when you say, yes, repeatedly it is coming like that, because certainly 1 month, it could be due to some special cause also, right? So we can possibly ignore that, but we cannot have a blanket answer for that. Based on the situation, we have to understand this. This is all about our session for today, okay? Because I need to have a logical break over here for today. So we have done our session till the balance scorecard tomorrow for today. Tomorrow we will start off with the project benefits assessments. Project benefits assessments, and what are the 4 levels of project benefits that we can derive from the Six Sigma initiative, and then take our discussion forward. Okay. So before we close our session for today, any doubts or questions, or whether you people are quite comfortable with whatever we have discussed till now and ready to meet again tomorrow same time? Yes? Okay. Wonderful.
None so far, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going quite slowly. I think things are quite clear with all of you, I guess, right? Not a single problem. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what we will do, we will meet again tomorrow, and then again we will continue with the rest part of our discussion. Okay. Thank you so much, and good night, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Night,
so
good
much. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.